into a lake of fire burning with brimstone.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Rachaha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Also, sincere shalom to your other brethren who follows of the truth, and mainly let me say shalom to the elect. Anyway, I want to go in this video, as you've seen in the beginning of the clip of the video, I took that was myself taking some pictures in a few prominent stores that are known to have, stock groceries. But I said, well, I'm going to just record it like this was the other day, because you know how it goes. The shelves will be empty, and then the next day, you had a couple of carts, trucks who may not made it on time or whatever. But I noticed as I continued to go back, I said, well, I'm going to wait a few days and go back, and you just see a serious decline in the food being brought in. Now, they also have signs up, saying that you're limited to buy certain things. Now, we've seen this before. So what happens is when things get a little better, everybody say, okay, everything goes back to normal. But, when these things happen, these are signs, okay? And there's going to be a time, that famines will strike. And these people are in what you call a NORMALCY bias syndrome. Now, I get a scripture real quick. 1 Thessalonians 5:3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction to cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child. Like when a woman is ready to bring forth a child and the birthing pains hit. And they shall not escape, because once you're ready to bring forth their child, there's no escape until, it's ripened, so to speak. So when the harvest is ripe. So what's happening is with birthing pains, you have, you'll have a situation where contractions is what they call it. It'll get worse, then it'll get better, then it'll get worse, then it'll get better. And this is what you see, when kingdoms fall, especially as Babylon is falling, you'll see the rockiness of it, the up and down. But even though it's trying to hold on, and even though it's trying to stay afloat, it's still crumbling. This is why when you read the book of, I believe, Jeremiah, when it says, can Babylon be healed? We would have healed her, but she can't be healed. So Babylon can't be healed. So what is normalcy bias? Normalcy bias is the normalcy bias of normalities refer to the mental state people enter when facing a disaster. And this is what I noticed when I was walking through the store. I know it was one little white girl who said, wait, what's going on with the groceries? It's empty. It's like the children recognized it, but the parents will say, it's no big deal. We've seen it before, right? We even had a young lady come up to the camp when this whole thing happened. She said, we've been through it before. Okay, so that's the mindset of people. But nobody's never been through this on this magnitude with all these things happening at once. With a World War III approaching, Anyway, the author results of situations where people fail to adequately prepare for a disaster, and on a larger scale, the failure of governments to include the populace in its disaster preparations, the assumptions that is made in the case of the normalcy bias is that since a disaster never has occurred, then it never will occur, right? So this is a prime example. So you have, if you ever watched The Matrix, and you had Cypher who said, "Put me back in, plug me in. I don't want to know. All I know is this steak tastes great," you know? So you're biased to normal, you're ignoring what's actually happening around you. It also results in the inability of people to cope with disaster once it occurs. Okay, that reminds me of a movie of The Day After when the missiles shot out and a man was telling his wife to come into the basement, because of it was the end of the world, so to speak. And she continued cleaning and mopping and sweeping. It says people with a normalcy bias have difficulties reacting to something they have not experienced before. So what makes the prophets and you followers of the truth so great in this matter is the Most High. When we keep repeating it, and it may sound old to some, but we keep repeating it and repeating it. So when these things happen, I even had a family member speak today and said, "You've been saying this years ago." I said, "Yep." But it's not surprising because we believe what the scriptures say. See, a lot of these guys get on here as Israelites. It's a show. It's you're waking up, you got nice colors on, you got beautiful garments, and it's something to pass time in a normal lifestyle, But what are we doing this for? We're doing this, as Ezekiel 3:17, it says, to warn the wicked from their wicked way. People also tend to interpret warnings in the most optimistic way possible, seasoned in any ambiguities to infer a less serious situation. So they're making themselves believe it's not what it really is, right? 2 Ezra 6:22. It says, and suddenly the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. At that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, right? These grocery stores, they're not going to last long, And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. The springs of the fountains shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world, right? So this is what we're looking for. We're looking for the end of this madness. This is like a simulation. And a simulation, basically, when you look that up, it's a unreal reality, right? I was just reading 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. Okay, and how is that going to happen? As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. Right. So, it's all it's going to take is those missiles to launch, and that'll be the beginning of setting. Well, we're the beginning through the Spirit of the Lord of setting this place in order. The judges, that's here to set this place in order, man. Because it definitely needs it. Okay, let's look up travail. Back in 1 Thessalonians 5:3. A woman in travail. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them as a travail upon a woman with child. Let me go back there. G5604. something like that. Um, G5604. Pain, the pain of childbirth, travail, pain, birth pangs, intolerable anguish in reference to the dire calamities precede the event of the Messiah, right? So we're going to have, we're going to come into the time of Jacob's trouble, right? So we'll be tested. Revelations 2 and 10. We'll be thrown in prison. So there's a lot that we're looking forward to. But when you read Matthew 24, when you read all the scriptures, it must come to pass. These are things that must happen. I mean, you really want to think about it. This is why Ecclesiastes 7 says what it says. Anybody who loves this life, right? They're off, right? You're not supposed to be in a house of mirth because nothing is right. This is all backwards. Okay. So anyway, I don't have much else to say on that because really it speaks for itself. This is the time we're coming into. You can read all the articles that tell you about. There's not much I could say about it because this is the tube, right? But you can read the articles that go into why these things are happening, and ultimately it's because what you want to call man and dates. I break the word up, man and dates. Ultimately, this is going to cause all kinds of trouble, and this is what's been happening. Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.